Well, I'm sure you're all familiar with news of the bird flu appearing again in China. Now, so far, there's been over a dozen people found to have contracted the virus, and a significant portion of them have died as a result. The death toll and the number of infected seem to be increasing, so I'm not going to bother to tell you the numbers since it will probably be outdated by the time you watch our program. I'll leave that to the news programs. Instead, I'm going to show you how people on Weibo are reacting to the disease, which is, well, pretty well. Angry, sure, but at least currently, it seems that Weibo users have more of a reaction to the Fukushima nuclear disaster in Japan last year than to the new H7N9 bird flu. Now, the Chinese authorities is working with the Center for Disease Control to tackle the problem and has been quite open about it. The Chinese authorities have pointed out that the H7N9 flu is not contagious between humans and that no one who had been in contact with the H7N9 patients, including healthcare workers and family members, have so far been infected. However, there are still people who are skeptical and fear that the government might be withholding information like they did in 2003. All right, now let's take a look at some Weibo reactions and what people have to say about the H7N9 bird flu.
Work to better people's living standards and the environment. The key is to increase people's living standards and safety. Other questions, such as asking about their happiness, is pointless. Western doctors already said there is currently no cure, but I've heard some Chinese medicine doctors saying that there's some way of balancing the yin with the yang to protect against the virus. A bunch of hocus pocus. Oh, the great and powerful Chinese medicine truly is undefeatable. Always spreading rumors of using the same old herbs. Can't they figure out something new? Yeah, bird flu. Let's all take some herbs to help prevent catching the virus, but do nothing about pumping our chickens full of steroids and vaccines, which probably spawned the H7N9 in the first place.
Now, this is not the first time that China had to deal with a rather deadly flu that could lead to a large-scale pandemic. Now, back in 2003, Chinese authorities tried to cover up an epidemic of the severe acute respiratory syndrome, better known as SARS, which emerged in China and killed about 10% of the roughly 8,000 people who were infected. Now, other variations of the bird flu, such as the H5N1 and the H1N1, have been circulating for many years and are mostly transmitted between birds to birds or from birds to humans, but generally not human to human. The city of Shanghai has taken pretty drastic measures to protect its population of around 20 million by exterminating all the live poultry in the city and banning the sales of live poultry at the markets. However, in the smaller cities, or if you travel a bit northwards, you will find that the sale of chickens and ducks and birds are still taking place as usual. So it seems preventative measures are mostly on a city-to-city or a district-to-district basis. All right, let's get back to Weibo and take a look at what else people had to say about the latest avian flu outbreak.
What I think is even more important is to have a good habit of eating the right food and living a healthy lifestyle. We really need to prevent these outbreaks from occurring again in the future. Is Dyer's woad really effective? Won't this send people into another buying frenzy? What has caused this outbreak? Why are we battling H7N9 10 years after SARS? I think it's because of their air pollution. Experts are saying that we should close our windows and stay indoors. How about we open our windows to get good air circulation going? We need to tackle this problem with good reason and logic. People will not panic this time. I think those who are selling facial masks are going to be rich this year.
And despite how some media portray the bird flu, it's not something that occurs specifically in China. Now, in fact, the virus has claimed at least 300 lives in Egypt, Indonesia, Iraq, Pakistan, Turkey, Thailand, Nigeria, and Vietnam. Now, certain strains of the bird flu is believed to have existed in the United States, such as in Texas in 2004, but there has been no known cases of human infections.